Annual active shooter drills could soon become mandatory in Georgia classrooms. House Bill 147 is up for a vote on the Senate floor today, but not everybody favors it. Atlanta News First's Bridget Spencer spoke to lobbyists outside the Capitol. So, Bridget, what's in this bill?
Gravir, the two main points of this bill are active shooter drills that will happen every year, as well as preventing gang violence in schools. Now, that bill is on the Senate floor right now as we speak. The lobbyists I spoke to believe lawmakers' intentions here are good, but they don't like their execution. Now, Dawsonville Republican Will Wade, he's a co-sponsor on the bill, which is expected to pass in the Senate today. The bill says intruder alert drills would be required annually, but it does give parents the option for their child to opt out if they need to. The other focus of the bill gives teachers an option to obtain a certification in gang violence reduction. Now, the students I spoke to just moments ago, they say this could open up Pandora's box, even though the intention may be to keep students safe.
I don't disagree that that's their intention, but we think this is very much the wrong way to go about it.
We have concerns about that because it's law enforcement training teachers to identify gang members in the classroom when teachers should be building relationships, shouldn't be criminalizing students.
And the lobbyists also believe that this bill is reactionary and it's not proactive. They believe more should have been done to prevent the need to have active shooter drills in the first place. We did reach out to Representative Will Wade. He was willing to talk today, but he wasn't able to make it before the noon newscast. We're live in Atlanta. Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
Bridget, thank you.